Ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you today. The greatest battles you will ever fight aren't external, they're internal. The battle against doubt, laziness, fear, and excuses is waged in the mind. And if you want to live a life of greatness, you must force yourself, yes. Force yourself to build the strongest mindset possible. Why? Because a strong mindset isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what keeps you steady when the storms of life blow hard. It's what pushes you forward when everything around you screams, give up. But here's the catch: nobody is born with a strong mindset. It's built. Brick by brick, habit by habit, thought by thought. And the construction process? It isn't always comfortable, but it's always worth it. So how do you do it? You start by taking full responsibility for your life. You don't wait for perfect conditions because they don't exist. You don't wait for motivation because motivation is fleeting. You take action daily, consistently, relentlessly. Force yourself to think bigger. Force yourself to be disciplined. Force yourself to learn. And one day you'll look back and realize that what once felt hard has now become your greatest strength. Because let me tell you something, the life you want will require the person you're willing to become. So let's commit to becoming people with the strongest mindset starting today. Accept that your mindset is your choice. Blaming others won't change your life, but taking responsibility will. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's a pathway to freedom. Force yourself to stick to habits that lead to growth. Expand your vision. A strong mindset sees opportunities where others see obstacles. Guard your mind. Surround yourself with positive influences, books, people, and experiences that elevate you. Gratitude shifts your perspective. A grateful mind is stronger in the face of adversity. Your mind is a garden. If you don't plant seeds of growth, weeds of mediocrity will take over. Strength isn't built in comfort zones. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Small daily actions compound over time. Consistency beats occasional bursts of effort every time. Train your mind to focus on what can be done instead of what's wrong. Solutions strengthen, complaints weaken. Building a strong mindset is a journey. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small, to fuel your momentum. Remember, success is not about what you get, it's about who you become. Build the strongest mindset and everything else will follow. When it comes to building the strongest mindset, the first and most critical step is to own your life completely. This means understanding that where you are today, the circumstances you face, and the results you're seeing are all a reflection of the choices you've made. Now that might sting a little, but here's the good news: if your choices got you here, better choices can take you somewhere greater. Too often people waste time pointing fingers, blaming their upbringing, the economy, their boss, or even the weather. But let me tell you something, the moment you hand over responsibility to something or someone else, you also hand over control. You cannot change what you refuse to take ownership of. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you're at fault for everything that happens. It means you accept that you're in charge of how you respond. Life will throw challenges your way, that's a given. But how you process those challenges, the meaning you assign to them, and the actions you take as a result, that's entirely up to you. When you take full responsibility, something remarkable happens. You stop waiting for external changes and start making internal changes. You stop saying, why me, and start asking, what can I do about it? That shift in mindset gives you the power to shape your future. Here's a truth to carry with you: excuses will always be available, but so will opportunities. The question is, which will you choose? Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the invisible thread that ties your dreams to your daily actions. Without it, even the best plans will crumble. With it, you can turn the impossible into the inevitable. Now, discipline isn't something we naturally gravitate toward. Let's be honest, comfort is far more tempting. It's easier to hit snooze than get up early, to indulge in shortcuts rather than stick to the process, to say, I'll do it tomorrow instead of doing it today. But let me remind you, easy choices lead to a hard life, while hard choices lead to an easier one. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up day after day, not because you're motivated, but because you're committed. Motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, on the other hand, is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start small. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick one thing, one habit, one action, and commit to it. Build consistency. Celebrate progress. And over time, you'll notice something incredible. What once felt like effort will start to feel like second nature. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's the highest form of self-respect. It says, I care enough about my future to do what's necessary today, and when you embrace it, it doesn't just strengthen your results, it strengthens you. Because discipline isn't just about achieving more, it's about becoming more. Most people limit themselves not because they lack potential, but because they've been trained to think small. They settle for the comfortable, the familiar, and the average. But let me tell you something, the size of your thinking determines the size of your life. If you want to live a bigger, more meaningful life, you must first expand your thinking. Thinking bigger starts with a simple question, what if? What if you could achieve that dream you've been dismissing as impossible? What if you stretched beyond your current limits? What if you could make an impact far beyond what you've imagined? The truth is, most limitations aren't real, they're imagined. They're self-imposed boundaries we create in our minds. And the way to break free is to challenge them consistently and intentionally. Bigger thinking doesn't mean ignoring reality, it means refusing to be trapped by it. It's about envisioning possibilities that others overlook. It's about seeing potential where others see problems. And here's the key, when you think bigger, you give yourself permission to pursue bigger goals, take bigger actions, and ultimately achieve bigger results. But thinking bigger requires courage. It means you'll sometimes be misunderstood, even criticized by those who've grown comfortable thinking small. That's okay. You're not responsible for their limitations, only for overcoming your own. Remember, the mind works like a muscle. If you stretch it to embrace bigger ideas, it will never shrink back to its original size. So dream bigger, plan bigger, act bigger, and watch as life rises to meet the size of your vision. Your mind is like a garden. What you allow to be planted and nurtured will determine what grows. If you plant seeds of growth, positivity, and learning, you'll reap a harvest of strength and success. But if you let weeds of negativity, doubt, and distraction take root, they'll choke out your potential. This is why controlling your inputs is essential. It's the foundation of building a strong mindset. Everything you expose yourself to has an influence, whether you realize it or not. The conversations you engage in, the books you read, the media you consume, and the people you surround yourself with, they're all feeding your mind. The question is, are they feeding it nourishment or junk? To build a strong mindset, you must be intentional about what you let in. Surround yourself with voices that inspire, challenge, and uplift you. Choose books that expand your thinking and ideas that push you to grow. Seek out people who encourage you to be your best self, not those who drag you into mediocrity or worse. And here's a critical point, guard your focus fiercely. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. If you're not careful, you'll spend hours scrolling, watching, or listening to things that add no value to your life. Every time you do, you're allowing weeds to grow in your mental garden. Remember, your mind is one of your most valuable assets. Treat it with care. Be selective, be disciplined, and be consistent. Because the inputs you allow today will shape the outputs of your life tomorrow. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for building a strong mindset. It's the ability to focus on what you have instead of dwelling on what you lack. It's about appreciating the small blessings in life, even when things aren't perfect. Gratitude shifts your perspective, and when you change your perspective, you change your world. Here's the truth, life isn't always easy and challenges will come. But gratitude allows you to find the good, even in difficult times. It helps you realize that every setback carries a lesson, every hardship builds strength, and every experience, good or bad, is a part of your growth. Gratitude doesn't ignore the problems, it reminds you that they don't define your entire reality. The beauty of gratitude is that it doesn't require perfect circumstances. You don't have to wait until you achieve your goals or until everything falls into place. You can practice gratitude right now. It might be as simple as appreciating the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, or the opportunity to try again tomorrow. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you begin to see more opportunities, more possibilities, and more reasons to keep moving forward. Gratitude rewires your mind to notice abundance rather than scarcity. And the more you practice it, the stronger that mindset becomes. Start each day with gratitude. Write down 3 things you're thankful for, reflect on the blessings around you, and speak it aloud. Over time, you'll notice that gratitude not only changes your mood, but also fuels your ambition. A grateful mind is calm, focused, and unstoppable because it's grounded in the truth that life, no matter how challenging, is still full of gifts. Your mind is like a bank, and every piece of knowledge you acquire is a deposit that earns compound interest over time. Commit to lifelong learning, and you'll find that it's one of the greatest investments you'll ever make. Learning isn't just about accumulating information, it's about transformation, becoming more than you were yesterday. The world is changing at an incredible pace. Skills that were relevant 10 years ago may not be enough today. That's why it's essential to make learning a habit, not a one-time event. Read books, listen to ideas, seek out mentors, and expose yourself to different perspectives. When you make learning a priority, you're equipping yourself to handle challenges, seize opportunities, and stay ahead of the curve. But lifelong learning isn't only about professional growth, it's about personal growth too. It's about understanding yourself better, improving your relationships, and deepening your ability to contribute to the world. It's about becoming a more thoughtful, capable, and impactful individual. Here's the thing, learning doesn't have to be formal or expensive. Some of the best lessons come from the everyday and insightful conversation, a reflective moment, or even a mistake. Be curious, ask questions, challenge your assumptions. The more you open yourself to learning, the more you'll discover how much there is to gain. And remember, learning is cumulative. What you study today may not seem significant, but over time, those small lessons stack up to create massive changes. Never stop feeding your mind, because when you do, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start settling, and settling is the enemy of a strong mindset. So commit to lifelong learning. Stay curious, stay humble, and keep expanding your horizons. Because the more you grow, the more you'll realize that the journey of learning has no finish line, and that's what makes it so rewarding. Challenges are life's way of testing your resolve, stretching your abilities, and preparing you for the next level. They're not roadblocks meant to stop you, they're stepping stones designed to elevate you. The truth is, without challenges, growth is impossible. Comfort may feel good, but it never produces strength. If you want to build a strong mindset, you must learn to embrace challenges, not avoid them. Think of challenges as the gym for your mind and character. Just like lifting weights builds muscle, facing difficulties builds resilience. Every time you push through an obstacle, you become stronger, more capable, and more prepared for what's ahead. It's not the easy days that shape you, it's the tough ones. The struggles you endure today are the victories you'll celebrate tomorrow. When challenges arise, it's tempting to ask, why me? But the better question is, what is this teaching me? Every challenge carries a lesson if you're willing to look for it. It might be teaching you patience, perseverance, adaptability, or humility. These lessons don't just help you overcome today's hurdles, they prepare you for the bigger opportunities and responsibilities waiting for you in the future. And here's the secret, challenges aren't permanent. They come and go, but the growth you experience from overcoming them stays with you forever. What once felt overwhelming becomes a story of triumph you can draw strength from. That's the power of embracing challenges, they transform you. So don't shy away from difficulty. Face it head on with the mindset that every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. The person who avoids challenges remains the same, but the one who embraces them becomes unshakable. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. And that strength, it's earned through every challenge you conquer. Consistency is the foundation of every great achievement. It's not about doing something once in a while or when you feel like it. It's about showing up every single day, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable. Success doesn't come from grand gestures or occasional efforts. It's the result of small, consistent actions repeated over time. Think of it like planting a tree. You don't plant the seed today and expect a fully grown tree tomorrow. No, you water it daily, you ensure it gets sunlight, and you protect it from weeds. Over time, those consistent efforts create something strong and enduring. The same is true for your goals, your mindset, and your life. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It's not about never making a mistake or never missing a day. It's about getting back on track as soon as you do. It's about creating habits so strong that they carry you forward, even when your motivation is low. Remember, motivation may get you started, but consistency keeps you going. The power of consistency lies in the compound effect. A single action might not seem like much, but over time it builds momentum. One workout won't transform your body, but months of consistent exercise will. Reading one page won't change your life, but reading every day will fill your mind with wisdom. The challenge is that consistency requires discipline, patience, and focus. It's easy to start something new. The hard part is sticking with it when progress feels slow or invisible. But trust the process. Stay consistent, and eventually you'll see the results. And when they come, they'll be worth every bit of effort you put in. Remember this, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't often boils down to consistency. Those who stay the course day in and day out eventually reach their destination. So commit to the small, daily actions that lead to big results. Because success is never about what you do once, it's about what you do consistently. When faced with challenges, most people have a tendency to dwell on the problem. They replay it over and over, focusing on what went wrong, who's to blame, or how unfair the situation is. But let me tell you something, focusing on the problem keeps you stuck. The only way forward is to focus on solutions. Focusing on solutions shifts your energy and perspective. It moves you from a state of worry to a state of action, from helplessness to empowerment. Problems will always be a part of life, that's a given. But your ability to solve them is what sets you apart. The question isn't, why did this happen to me, but rather, what can I do about it? That simple shift in thinking opens doors you didn't see before. Here's a truth: solutions don't always appear instantly. Sometimes they require creativity, patience, and persistence. But if you keep your mind fixed on the outcome you want rather than the obstacle in your way, you'll begin to see opportunities where others see dead ends. You'll find ideas, strategies, and resources that can move you closer to the result you're after. Focusing on solutions also builds confidence. Every time you solve a problem, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you're capable. That confidence compounds, giving you the courage to tackle bigger challenges in the future. And remember, not every solution will be perfect. Sometimes you'll have to try multiple approaches before you find what works. That's okay. The key is to keep moving forward, to stay in motion, and to refuse to let setbacks derail you. So train your mind to focus on solutions. Surround yourself with people who think constructively and encourage progress. When a problem arises, give yourself a moment to acknowledge it, then immediately shift your energy to finding a way through, over, or around it. Because problems will always exist, but the ability to solve them is what leads to growth, success, and a strong mindset. Too many people make the mistake of waiting for the big breakthrough to celebrate. They think they'll only be allowed to enjoy the fruits of their labor when they've reached their final goal, hit the finish line, or achieved the perfect result. But the truth is, success is not one big moment, it's a series of small, incremental victories. And if you wait until everything is perfect to celebrate, you'll miss all the joy and satisfaction that comes from progress itself. Celebrating progress is essential because it keeps you motivated and reinforces your commitment. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward your larger goal. Acknowledge that. Recognize it. Every action you take, every effort you make brings you closer to where you want to be. Celebrate that journey, not just the destination. Celebration doesn't have to be grand. It's about recognizing that you've taken one more step. Maybe you've stuck to your routine for a week, hit a milestone in your personal growth, or even just pushed through a tough day. Celebrate these moments. When you do, you're not only reinforcing your commitment, but you're also building a mindset that thrives on progress, not perfection. The act of celebrating progress also keeps you from becoming discouraged when things don't seem to be moving as quickly as you'd like. If you're always focused on the gap between where you are and where you want to be, you'll often feel defeated. But when you celebrate the progress, you remind yourself that you are making headway, and that steady, consistent progress is what leads to lasting success. By celebrating progress, you're also training your mind to stay focused on the positive. It's easy to get bogged down by setbacks or challenges, but acknowledging your progress shifts your attention to what's working, to what's moving you forward. And the more you focus on what's working, the more motivation you'll have to keep going. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Celebrate every step along the way, and you'll find that the journey itself becomes just as rewarding as reaching your ultimate goal. Because every day you make progress, you're one day closer to the person you're becoming. And that's worth celebrating. Celebrating progress is one of the most important practices you can adopt on your journey to success. Too often, people become so fixated on the final goal that they overlook the small victories along the way. They think, I'll celebrate when I get there, but the truth is, there is not a single point in time. Success is not a destination, it's a continuous process, and the path to it is paved with countless moments of growth and achievement. If you don't take the time to celebrate those moments, you'll miss the joy of the journey. Progress deserves acknowledgement because it represents effort, discipline, and perseverance. Every small step you take is a step away from where you were and a step closer to where you want to be. It's easy to overlook those steps when you're focused on the big picture, but progress is proof that you're moving forward. It's a sign that the work you're putting in is making a difference. Celebrate that. Celebrating progress doesn't mean you've made it or that you're done striving. It simply means you're honoring the process of growth. Maybe you've hit a small milestone, developed a new habit, or improved in an area you've been working on. Those moments are worth recognizing because they build momentum. Progress isn't always about leaps sometimes, it's about consistent steps forward, even when the journey feels slow. When you celebrate progress, you reinforce a winning mindset. It shifts your focus from what you haven't achieved yet to what you have accomplished so far. That shift is powerful. It builds confidence and encourages you to keep going, even when the road is tough. If all you ever focus on is how far you still have to go, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. But when you pause to celebrate how far you've already come, you gain a sense of pride and motivation to continue. Celebration doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be as simple as taking a moment to reflect on what you've done, sharing your success with a friend, or treating yourself to something you enjoy. It's not the size of the celebration that matters, it's the act of acknowledging your progress. A journal entry, a pat on the back, or even a quiet moment of gratitude can be enough to remind you that you're on the right track. And let's not forget, celebrating progress helps you stay present. It's a way of grounding yourself in the moment and appreciating the work you're doing now, not just the results you hope to achieve in the future. Life is happening in the present, and every step forward is a part of that life. Don't rob yourself of the satisfaction that comes from recognizing the effort you're putting in today. Progress also teaches you lessons. Every step forward represents growth, not just in what you're accomplishing, but in who you're becoming. Celebrate that transformation. Maybe you've become more disciplined, more patient, or more resilient. Maybe you've developed a skill or overcome a fear. These are achievements worth celebrating because they're shaping you into the person you need to be to reach your ultimate goals. Finally, remember that progress isn't always linear. There will be setbacks and challenges along the way, but even in those moments, you can celebrate the fact that you're still in the game, still trying, still moving forward. Resilience itself is worth celebrating because it's a sign of strength. So take the time to celebrate progress, no matter how small it may seem. Every effort, every improvement, every forward step is a win. When you celebrate these moments, you create a mindset that thrives on growth and positivity. And as you celebrate, you'll find that the journey becomes just as fulfilling as the destination. Because success isn't just about reaching the goal, it's about the person you become along the way. That transformation is worth every celebration.